All right, what is up, everybody? Shadow Scout 0013 here, reporting in for kind of another unit breakdown slash kind of comb over, whatever you want to call it. Just looking at the clone commander, just generic guy. What does it say underneath? The trained for leadership. That clone commander. Yeah, and he is, because he's actually really good, and I really like this guy. And I'll give you a few thoughts on what I think about him, and kind of like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different lists that you could put him in, just because you can go in anything. Honestly, he's wonderful for clones, and if you can find a way to put him in there, I would. Even though he doesn't have anything to do with getting suppression off of people, I think he's still really, really good. So I'll talk about him, different lists, and whatnot, but let's just go over a few housekeeping things. One, there's a gift card giveaway, or yeah, there's a giveaway going on right now for a $25 gift card. All you have to do is be a subscriber and leave a comment down below for an entry. And or if you want to join up on the Discord, you can, and that also gets you into another entry, because I'll either, look at who's on here and or look who is on the YouTube, and I'll pick one. It does just between there's so many people being on all of them and whatnot. I just want to try and be fair and go for one or the other. But if you do both, obviously that's even better. So to enter and to win, you can do all of that. Join up. We even have like a tiny little celebrity here with Lila coming in and helping with a few list ideas and tactics and stuff. And she wound up doing really well with her, her list for, let's see, there was like a Rebel Defenders, Echo-based Defender list that she made straight out of the box. So if you're looking for something really cool and awesome, there's a very simple list that she went with 3 wins, no losses with, and yeah, pretty cool. So it's nice to have her on there. So if you're ever looking for actual good information, besides the 5th Trooper, besides Friday Night Fights, and besides the regular Star Wars Discord, you can choose mine as well. Doesn't hurt, might as well. It helps. And then if you ever have stuff that you talk about or want to talk about, feel free to post it. By all means, I look at it as much as I can, and yeah, it's awesome. And there's still the June painting contest today, or tomorrow is actually technically the last day. So if you haven't already submitted anything, go ahead and submit. We've got some really cool things going on here. We've got, Boba and Cassian. We've got some droidicas. We've got some pretty cool Vader picks in here that was submitted. A really cool land speeder, Ahsoka, the comms officer. Man, y'all are amazing painters, by the way. There's no way I could do anything like this, but you guys never cease to amaze me with how awesome. I might even have to ask for some commission paintings from some of you guys if y'all are willing. By all means, I'll hit you guys up, and yeah, so it's kind of cool to just see y'all's work. Secondly, if you haven't been to the Patreon, go ahead and head to the Patreon. We're going to get sometimes the videos early. It's really been kind of difficult recently with me taking the test and trying to get my next certification, as well as trying to sign up for the Friday Night Fight League now, and trying to get some games in under my belt to prepare possibly for a tournament in September, October, if I can make it. So yeah, there's a lot going on, and I'm trying to do my best, and we are eventually trying to grow to get you guys to, or give you guys some blog posts about tournaments, and, we have the Chosen One, which is the top contributor for Patreon / a moderator or admin, I should say, in the Discord. He's kind of in charge of that for now, and in charge of the painting contest. So it's really cool to see, Clan of Shadows growing, and it's all thanks to you guys. So, kudos. I really appreciate all that. And then if you haven't already and you want to build a strong body or lose weight, you can head over to the Burn Academy for $15 a month and subscribe. Download the app, and then you get 3, 4, 5, and 6-day week workout programs, corrective exercise programs in case you've had any injuries in your hips, your knees, and your shoulders. It's not technically rehab, but it is just trying to get you back into the gym, get you stronger, and or get those weak points built up. 30-minute torture program in case you're short on time, at-home stuff, 120 different recipes, ways to track your progress, coaching videos. You can record yourself working out, and I can kind of look at it to make sure you're doing it right if you were to ask a question. So yeah, it is all here just for you, just to make sure that you are doing really well in the gym, looking like a pro, like you should, and yeah, making sure you're doing things right. So with all of that out of the way, let's get into why we're here and what you guys want to see. So the Clone Commander is 60 points. Awesome. Really good. He's 4 health, 2 courage, red die saves, no surging for anything, obviously. He is speed 2. He's got a range 1 to 3, 3 black. So I think that's very similar to the Pike Cabo, but he's obviously got red die saves and way better. He's got 2 red and melee. That is the same as, Iden Versio and all those other guys that are Rex, I think, even. So, man, this guy is stacked. He's got 1 command slot, 1 training slot, 1 gear slot. He's got Bolster 2 as an action, so you can choose up to 2 friendly units at range 1. Each chosen unit gains a search token. He's got Direct, and okay, so real quick, I guess. I'll go ahead and talk about it. So, Bolster. I think that would be an amazing upgrade card, or a command upgrade card, maybe a gear upgrade card, because you obviously have, if you look at the gear slots, we have electro binoculars and portable scanners, which gives you spotter 1, take cover 1. So it would be really cool at some point to get an upgrade card, either gear or command slot if you wanted to, that allows anyone to bolster. It could be bolster 1 by all means, because Empire and Rebels would probably benefit greatly from that, as well as, Shadow Collective. Because, yeah, and then if you were to put it on him, bolster 3 surge tokens handed out each turn, and then you could probably take an aim or a dodge, and all of those tokens are used. So he is a wonderful support person. He doesn't have any of the ways to get rid of suppression, but for the most part, even your phase 2s are at least courage 2. And if you bring him into the 501st and you play the 3-pip, where everyone gets a Indomitable that's at range 1 or 2, I think, probably range 1 of Commander, it's, it can still work that you don't necessarily need to have that Inspire. He's got Direct, a clone trooper unit, a core clone trooper unit. So during the command phase, you can issue an order to a friendly core clone trooper unit at range 1 to 2 for better order control as well. So this is really cool, even though it doesn't trigger like a chain effect like CIS. The Direct to Clone core is absolutely amazing with 5s, because 5s can also coordinate to any clone trooper. So if you wanted to put 5s on a core, it just allows you to be able to give the clone commander the order to 5s, who can then coordinate to whatever unit you want. And that's really good, especially to set up fire support. And then Sharpshooter 1. So while you're performing a ranged attack, you reduce the defender's cover by 1. 3 black, just awesome. I love this guy. He's probably the best just generic commander. I like him more technically than the Empire commander. And yeah, super awesome. Love this guy. So let's look at a few upgrades that you could do with him. Technically, you can bring him without any upgrades, and he's just as good. Like, there's almost no point to put upgrades on him. But, if he's going to be your only commander, which I doubt it, because you've got some pretty good stuff in here. Like, you've got Rex, you've got Cody. So if you just wanted a really, really good commander, you could go with one of them, and then have this clone commander as like a backup for support and do whatever you want. So aggressive tactics, I probably wouldn't put on him, because you're probably going to put that on someone giving out way more commands, like Anakin or Obi-Wan or Yoda or someone like that, or Rex. You'd probably put it on Rex or Cody, because they're probably going to be wanting to give out orders or be the nominated commander. Or if you just didn't want to stack up a ton of points on Rex and make him so expensive, then you can kind of split those points and give it to the clone commander. And albeit you're only going to be giving probably 3 command cards from this clone commander, that's at least a little bit worth 15 points, but not fully, which is why I'm just like, it's a toss-up. But this is probably going to be better on Rex, Cody. But if you don't have them, and maybe you've got someone else, and whatever, aggressive tactics could be good, but it's iffy. Commanding presence, you probably don't need on here, because again, you're probably giving those command cards out, unless you take this 1, 2, and 3-pip. Then yeah, the aggressive tactics would be good. Maybe commanding presence if you're keeping him in the back, but you're probably keeping him in a clone ball, so you probably don't need this in clones, because they're staying close together anyway. Esteemed leader, he's not that important. Come on. Improvised orders, albeit he's good, he's not that important. Improvised orders, yes, definitely. That's a good one on him. Inspiring presence, he's only courage 2. You don't need that. Lead by example could be a really good one to put on him. Again, like I said, he's got no inspire. So giving him lead by example still frees up an action, like his actions. He still gets the 2, but at least you can, use that inspire to get rid of any kind of suppression on them. So again, lead by example is really not bad. Improvised orders, really not bad. And I apologize for all of that background noise going on at the moment. So then you have strict orders. So strict orders could also be actually kind of good on them, besides, CIS being the best. Strict orders is good because you kind of get order control with command cards giving out orders plus his direct, and then if you have 5s, coordinate. So having that strict orders could really help those with the face-up order tokens. And if they have 2 suppression and you're worried, or if they have 4 suppression or they're worried, or whatever you have, at least getting that 1 off and hoping for that 1 action at minimum. So say you have like 4 suppression on someone. Well, they're panicked. Instead of rolling and maybe not getting the chance to have any actions, you could do strict orders to at least take 1 off and get 1 action. You could either recover, you could attack at some point because you're probably going to take another 1 off at the end of the round. So strict orders could be good on this clone commander. Underworld connections, you don't have any, besides the pikes, there's really no point in taking it right now because there's no good operatives that are mercenaries, and there's no good commanders except for your pike capo. So until maybe some more mercs or mercenaries come into the Republic, then maybe eventually. Vigilance could be a really good one on him because of all the dodges and stuff that you're giving out and are taking and possibly not using them all the time. Vigilance would be good, and especially if you have a Jedi like Anakin, Padme. You have Anakin or Obi-Wan or Yoda. Vigilance is amazing because then it takes the cost. Since I think what Obi-Wan and or Anakin don't have, so Obi-Wan has a command slot. Anakin doesn't have a command slot. So I think Anakin's the only commander without a command slot in the Republic. Besides Chewbacca. But I can see that as to why. But if you didn't want to make Obi-Wan so expensive, in case he, because kill points are part of the game. And if you have Obi-Wan die, you don't want him being the most expensive thing. And if you have Vigilance on the clone commander, that's fine, because it's probably going to be close to Obi-Wan Kenobi anyway. And if not, you're planning on the clone commander going a separate way than maybe Obi-Wan or Anakin or Yoda, or even the Wookiee chieftain, then by all means put it on them. But those are the top, I think, 3, 4 that I would do is improvised orders, lead by example, strict orders, and vigilance. Just because he's the generic and, he's more of a support generator and stuff like that, or token generator and support. Yeah. And so if we look at the trading slots, really, honestly, offensive push is going to be good on him, and or maybe seize the initiative if you wanted. Yeah, that's really it. Honestly, he's good without any upgrades. So you really don't necessarily have to have any on there. He doesn't have Guardians, so you don't need that. Overwatch, you're probably not taking standbys with him. You're probably taking an aim, a dodge, and or bolstering. So, aim and or dodge, and then bolstering, or something, or moving. So he can generate whatever token he needs and then share it. So that's why you don't necessarily have to have a bunch of stuff on there. But offensive push could be okay. With gear, we're going to just skip again all of this because maybe prepared supplies could be okay, or electropanox or portable scanners. There are arguments to have that on there. But if he can just take the aim and or dodge and then share it at range 1, which is the range that you're giving this out anyway, you might as well just save the points and take the aim or dodge yourself. So really, he's awesome. He's going to be probably 60, maybe up to 72 points total, because that's all you're going to add to him. So yeah, just simple stuff. Synchronized offensive will come in the box as the clone commander, along with the medic, the engineer, and the comms guy. So with that pack, you're going to get these 3 clone cards, and after a friendly vehicle is issued in order, choose a friendly clone trooper at range 1 to 2 of it and issue that in order. So again, like I said, even with if we decided to do, instead of improvised orders, maybe strict orders, 65 points. If you were to do synchronized defensive and you had maybe a 501st, or you had some other list that was very similar to it that had vehicles, or Commander Cody, even with Commander Cody giving out synchronized defensive to a vehicle, you can direct and then you can give an order to that second vehicle, and then that vehicle can give it to maybe a core to help with fire support, and then the clone commander has direct, who can give it to 5, so you can then direct to another clone core or whoever that you need possibly, and then you've got really good order control, you've got a good fire support setup, and yeah, the strict orders could really come in handy on that. So synchronized defensive, really good one, especially for order control. Air support. Once this round, at the end of the activation of a friendly commander clone trooper unit or friendly field commander. So you can't trigger this off of Obi-Wan, off of Anakin, Yoda, chieftains, or anything like that. It's got to be Rex, Cody, or the clone commander, or field commander. So like if you have the saber tank and you're deciding to put either Ayla Secura on there, she's got field commander, so she'd be able to do the same thing. And which would be really fun, you could attack with the saber tank at that range 1 to 4, maybe even with the Arsenal 2, and then at the end of that you could air support, and you can fire support on the first attack. So you'd be able to, with the first attack, you could do these 3 at range 1 at 4 to infinity, and then maybe if you had Echo on a core unit, or you had the RPS on a core unit and they were in range, you could also fire support with the single rainbow, I think is what they have for the RPS. Or maybe if you had like I said, Echo fire support with this, because he's range 1 to 5, and if you put him on a core phase 1 or something like that, they gain fire support or whatever. You've done your tank attack, and now you're doing another attack with beam. So you would if you did, let's say Echo for example, you would do 3 red, 2 black, and it's critical 1, lethal 1, beam 2, immune to deflect, sharpshooter. Well, that's if it's clone commander. If it's clone commander shooting, then you get sharpshooter while you use this. But if you're just doing from the saber tank, obviously you don't benefit from the sharpshooter. But there's so much attacking that you can do. So like I said, you fire with the saber tank and arsenal to it. So that probably does at least 2 wounds, maybe 3 if you can roll fine. And then you use this and then fire support it. Man, that's only on 1 unit, and then you can beam it 2 more times. So man, so good if it's done right, I should say. So air support, I should say, is great. Now, Attack of the Clones. You're going to give it to 3 clone troopers specifically. When a unit is issued an order using this card, it either gains a surge or removes a suppression token. So that's one way to remove suppression tokens. And you can't give either a surge or remove suppression from the direct. So it has to be, orders given from this card. And as far as I understand, with direct, so during the command phase, you may issue an order to a friendly clone trooper at range 1 to 2. I think there's a few ways you can expand that. So if you were to possibly give him, I think it is, if you were to do commanding presence, it could expand it to range 1 to 3. Or I'm sure if you were to give maybe, one of the clone trooper units, let's see, because it has to be a core unit. If you were to have a comms tech, and maybe you were to have, long range comm link during the command phase, you can be issuing orders by a friendly commander or operative regardless of range. So I'm sure if you had that on someone, and you had maybe moved up, maybe you had this going on somewhere, somehow, that clone commander could somehow direct this phase 1. I could be wrong. I'm not sure because, again, I don't necessarily play that, and I haven't. In Empire, you don't have direct, really. And or in Shadow Collective, which are the main ones that I like to play. And so, yeah, having that long range comm link from direct, as far as I know, works because you're giving an order from direct, and then with comm link, this unit can be issued an order by that commander from anywhere on the board. So maybe instead that kind of, skips and or helps you with that loophole of giving out an order from range 1 to 2. That makes it everywhere. So yeah, that's a cool little way around that one. Again, making other units powerful in that direct, very powerful when you need it. All right, so that's really him. That's technically everything. Let's look at a few lists with him in it. So we look at Anakin's 501st list. We have Force Push, Saber Throw, because of that fire support with Anakin's, Impact 3, Pierce 3. You have Endurance just to make sure he doesn't gain any suppression, and then Up Close and Personal to also help with his Dimso Mastery, and just his Exemplar. Having the extra dodge is really nice. You have Clone Commander with Lead by Example. If you wanted something different, by all means, you've got plenty of points to spare. So usually what I was saying earlier, Improvised Orders is only 5 points, and you could do that. You could do Strict Orders if you really wanted to because of the way that you do suppression. But since you're bringing probably the leaders of the 501st, friendly units at range 1 to 2 of a friendly Anakin or Clone Commander Rex gain Indomitable. So, actually, you can't bring that one in there. My bad. Should probably bring in Attack of the Clones. In which case, Lead by Example could be really good. And then you have the Phase 2s, one with 5s, because, again, the direct 2 5s, and then 5s can coordinate to the Phase 2s. Then you have perfect order control for your core, and then you don't have to worry about them, and it also sets you up for any of the fire supporting with the Phase 2 mortar, or possibly 5s, but I think with the Phase 2s, so that you could fire support any of these ARC Troopers and or Strike Teams, or the Bark Speeder, because it's so far away. And then I have 2 full units of ARCs, one with Echo, and then one with the DC-15, and then I've got 2 Strike Teams with the DC-15, so you have 4 units that are range 5, another unit that's range 4, and then everything else, pardon me, sorry, that can just kind of do what they need to do for whatever. And you got your Bark in there because you have to have it. So that's kind of like a 501st, and then the Clone Commander's there just kind of continue helping with order control and or fire support. Maybe you're welcome to change technically if you wanted to with the fire support. If you wanted to go with the Z6 Phase 2, it'll save you a ton of points, 13 points altogether, to put anything else on here. I mean, 13 points isn't going to give you very much because obviously the other guys are a little bit more expensive than that. Yeah, that's 14. And then 15. Hey, just a regular guy is 13 points, so that could work, but it just kind of depends. But yeah, so that gives you 800 points exactly, 9 activations. You have a 10-act Yoda list, which I was surprised to, actually make. I didn't know that would be a thing. But you have the Force Barrier, Force Push, and Force Guidance, which you could also change for Jedi Mind Trick. I don't know if you saw the interview I did with Canadian Bear or Graham when he has Jedi Mind Trick on his Yoda, because, with the 1 pip allowing you to do free actions twice, you'd have to recover in between. You can do the Jedi Mind Trick, recover, do the Jedi Mind Trick again, and then he can attack twice, so you can, but if you have to recover, you're not attacking twice. But yeah, there's so much suppression you could do, even if you didn't use his 1 pip, you could attack twice, and I think his is suppressive, exactly. So you could attack twice with that, and then do the Jedi Mind Trick, and give out even more suppression. So you could do a suppression bomb yourself, kind of like more than once in a game. So that's just another option. I just used Force Guidance to be able to give that Strike Team or any of the Phase 1s with the RPS in an extra surge. And then the Clone Commander has Bolster, so he's going to be giving out more surges. So that's 4 surge tokens each round that you're going to be able to give out for defense or offense, whatever. And then you've got 2 Phase 1s with the RPS for that 2 to 4 shot helping the Bark Speeders, or maybe going in with the ARC Trooper Strike Team. And then I have Echo on the Phase 1 Clone Troopers to be able to fire support with the air support here, because once the Clone Commander uses fire support, that first attack, like I said, you could have Echo fire support into that, giving you the 3 red, 2 black, impact. Sorry, no impact. Critical 1, lethal 1. Yeah, really good little alpha strike there in a way. And then 3 bark speeders, because that 3 bark speeders is going to help you again with that little extra fire support, giving you a ton of dice. What's that? A double rainbow and an extra black. Impact 2, surging naturally because of that. So yeah, it's a fun little thing to do. And then Yoda can protect these little guys down in here, or do what they need to. And then even guidance to strike team for that extra aim for anyone to use, or guidance to standby if anyone's getting close. And yeah, but that's 10x Yoda. I don't know how well it's going to be, because again, this is mostly for trying to get as many activations as possible and not trying to make plays as efficient as possible. So yeah, you have some pretty good long range fire support. You've got, 2 range 5 here. The Echo's range 5. Your RPS is range 4, or 2 to 4. And then, yeah, the Yoda and Clone Commander are just there for some supporting. So it's all long range for the most part. And it's really cool. I don't know. I like it. Now you have a Cody AT-RT 10 activation list. Commander Cody has the aggressive tactics and portable scanner, coming out to 126 points. You have the AT-RT with laser cannon and linked targeting array. If you want even more order control over the aim, then instead of linked targeting array, you could just do comms relay. So whenever Commander Cody directs this AT-RT, you can just maybe give that order to, 5s, and then 5s coordinates to Echo, and then you have the Clone Commander who can give the RPS here in order for fire support. So at least you've got your 3 core, you've got with an order. Yeah, I mean, there's lots of things you can do, and I've tried to set, again, this up for some more fire support. You've got 5s, again, here just for that coordinate on a phase 1. You've got Echo on here for that fire supporting of his weapon, if you need it. You've got the RPS 6, because, I mean, trying to even fire support the RPS, which is, the single rainbow? Yeah, with Echo's 2 red, again, with that critical 1, lethal 1, because it's the weapon. So I think that's the weapon that you're using to help fire support. So critical 1, lethal 1, impact 2. Yeah, I mean, those could be just like a little fun combination I keep mentioning. And then the phase 1 specialist that can give you an aim, a surge, or dodge on the RPS trooper. And then on the other RPS trooper, I have Waxer just to get him in a little bit closer with the scout 1. And with disciplined 1, trying to get rid of any suppression to make sure that he can still aim and shoot or do whatever he needs to. Have those 2 actions. And then just 2 strike teams for 10 activations. Still giving you, a ton of impact in this list, because you have, impact 4 right here, and then another impact 3. Yeah, so impact 6, and then 4. Yeah, so impact 10 total in the list. Oh, well, and also, Cody's got impact 1. So, yeah, if you're looking to go against any kind of arc or dark troopers, then this could be a fun little impact list to play. And it's 10 acts, helping you with majority of the objectives. So for the last 2 lists, these have Rex in them, and they're all gunline focused. They're both 10 acts, and it's just kind of different. So the Clone Commander, again, is just naked by himself. I have Clone Captain Rex with up close and personal, recon, intel, and jetpacks. If you don't want up close and personal and you wanted offensive push, that works, because his 3-pip allows him to recover whenever he activates, so you'd be able to get that offensive push back, and then you can move and gain that tactical 2 for a move and then attack, and you've got your two aims. It just kind of depends on what you want, and it'll save you some points too. But that's just kind of up to you. I've got the phase 1's RPS 6 with Clone Commander for that reliable 1 and Inspire 1 just in case. I have another RPS trooper with the phase 1 specialist for that aim, surge, or dodge, whatever you need. I've got 2 phase 1s with the DP-23 shotgun trooper. So basically, this is only range 1 to 2, but it is Pierce. And I've also given the frag grenades on the DP-23. With so many things kind of getting into your lines or coming close to your lines and moving fast, the DP-23 can make sure that in the back you're staying really well equipped, because with the Pierce 1 surge to crit, at least you're definitely getting one through. But there's tons of crits that can go, and it also just makes sure that if you are facing darks or something like that, you at least can negate a red save, being that close, making sure that you're trying to get them down as much as possible. And then this one, instead of having Waxer for that scout to help with the range, I should say, and the discipline to make sure that they do get hopefully 2 moves so that they can, well, 2 actions, I should say, so that they can move and shoot to close that gap. So that's why I have him on there. And then on the other one, I have the Clone Medic just to help with whoever or whatever. If you wanted to change this, what you could do is just go with the phase 1 here and then go with the Medic on Echoes. Same thing. I mean, it's just kind of up to you on what you want to do. And then, like I said, Echo on the phase 1 with Clone Medic just for that extra fire support. And then 3 strike teams, giving you 4 range 5 guns, 2 range 4, 2 range like 1 to 2, 1 to 3, and then Captain Rex. And even Captain Rex can help with the clone DP-23 troopers. So say maybe instead of Waxer on this one, maybe you decided to go with the phase 1 specialist, and then on this RPS guy you go with the Waxer to help, again with that Scout 1 on the cumbersome gun, allowing you to at least get a little closer for that fire support or whatever you need, because again, Clone Commander, the generic guy, can just give the RPS 6 an order. Now, you don't have 5s on here to be able to coordinate or anything like that, so you want to make sure that you're using your direct to kind of give someone, whoever is important to set up for the fire support. Yeah, I mean, probably Echo. That's who you're going to wind up giving that to, because he's also, if he's got the medic, then, at least the same round you can heal some of the clone troopers, or one of the clone troopers that got knocked out. Yeah, or Captain Rex or whatever. Having that clone medic is very important in these games now. Yeah, and you still have all of, you bring all of Rex's cards, and then you bring all the generic guys stuff, except for with ambush, because you don't have any vehicles in here. So ambush is probably going to be the best one to get the Rex, and then the clone commander can just coordinate to Echo or whatever needs to happen. But at least with this one, I've tried to do 2 of the shotguns for the Pierce, the free aim, and then the fire grenades to just help get wounds through for sure. Now that's 10x, and then another Rex gun line. This one, he does have offensive push, the jetpack, and recon intel to get that scout too. Also, if you're playing hostage exchange, you scout up Rex to that his speed 2 up, and then you move the hostage unit a speed 2 closer to yours, and then maybe you direct with the clone trooper or clone commander the hostage unit, and then just move them each time. So I wouldn't say that this is bad at hostage exchange. It's really good. It just kind of depends on if you want to play that against any kind of force user, especially with burst speed. That's going to be tough. But hey, this at least gives you some sort of something for hostage exchange. You're not just kind of, if you're playing Empire, you're kind of screwed. If you're playing Rebels, you might have Leia's 2-pip if you're going with a gun line or something like that. That kind of gives them a free move. Commander Cody has his 3-pip that allows a trooper unit to make a speed 1 move after, I think might be after a, let me just read that for a second. Yeah, so when a friendly vehicle unit declares an attack against an enemy unit, that unit has an observation token. You can spend the token, blah, blah, blah. Where is it? If they do, after the attack, a friendly clone trooper unit at range 1 of that vehicle may perform a speed 1 move. So that's another way of helping with your hostage exchange. But yeah, so I have a DC-15 this time with the phase 1s. I've got 5s with the clone medic. I've got Echo with the phase 1 specialist, and 2 RPS troopers with the phase 1 specialist as well, and then 3 ARC trooper strike teams. Every unit has that is full of bodies, and then the ARC trooper strike teams just shooting, and then hopefully using Echo or the RPS to fire support even, or the DC-15 to help with that critical, with the Surge, with the DC-15's arc. You know, lots of ways to get crits through and lots of ways to help fire support. But this is a good one. I mean, I've played against a Rex gun line, I think that practically similar to this. They didn't have 5s in it. But yeah, I mean, still really good. So yeah, that is it for you. That's kind of like the generic Clone Commander. I know I kind of skipped a lot on the Clone Commander when I'm talking about these lists because he's not the main focal point. But it just kind of goes to show you he can be put in anything, really. And I didn't put him, I didn't do the Saber Tank thing I was talking about earlier. Whenever, with that 2-pip, if you wanted to fire support, maybe again you'd have like the Saber Tank that could have Ayla Secura in it, and your beam 2, so that you can just get extra and or high energy shells. Maybe link targeting array, because if you were to bring, it's very expensive. And then maybe bring Commander Cody, and if you wanted to, maybe give him the aggressive tactics and portable scanner. And since he has the target 1, he's going to get an aim, so you could also just share that, so you don't necessarily have to do anything. And then you've got your other units that you could use. We'll go with phase 1s, and I usually just go with the generic first, or a generic heavy first, go with maybe however many I want. Go with Echo for some extra fire support actions, and then let's go with some of these guys, and we'll go with some Bark Speeders. To get 9 activations, you'd have to take away something, so maybe you take away... Oh, man. Maybe you take away the beam gun and or strict orders, and at least you've got your 9 activations. You've got a way to do that alpha strike with the air support and the Saber Tank. Yeah. Really good stuff there. And even with the DC-15s, maybe you wanted an RPS trooper. Maybe you wanted 2 of them for that extra impact just in case, giving you 10 more points to kind of do with what you want. And with that, you can probably give that Saber Tank nothing. You could probably give Clone Commander either improvised orders or the strict orders, and since they're both 5 points, I'm just going to put one of them. Leaving you 5 more for 5-point bid, or maybe if you wanted, a Bark Speeder to have Comm Jammer or something like that on there. I doubt they're going to be getting too close, but you could have a 5-point bid. But that gives you the Saber Tank and an extra 2 other vehicles. So if you did play his 3-pip, maybe if the Bark Speeder were to attack, and you were to fire support with the phase 1, maybe you say that you're playing hostage or something like that, and you played 3-pip, you allow the Saber Tank to shoot, and you fire support with the RPS after the attack. Maybe you do the speed 1 move with the RPS to get them closer, and then maybe if another Bark Speeder attacks, then you move the phase 1s again with the RPS to get them back into your lines. Yeah, that could be a fun little hostage unit. Your opponent might not expect a cumbersome unit to be your hostage unit, or could, you never know. But yeah, that is it, guys. Thank you for listening to me just ramble. I appreciate all of you who are subscribers, who are in the Discord. I really appreciate it, and to see all you guys doing so much in here is cool. And yeah, all right, guys, head to the Discord and the Patreon and to the birdacademy.com for a subscription of $15 a month to get everything you need here. And yeah, what is it? Giveaway should be next week, I think, or something like that. So get your entries in. All right, and I also want to say thank you to all the Patreon members: Anthony, Kitsune, Emperor, and Tyson. Speaking of, Tyson is in the same pod as me for the Friday Night Fights, round 6 stuff. So it's really cool. This is awesome to get some of the same guys and Canadian Bears in the same pod. So it's cool that you've got a lot of people in this Discord who are playing against each other, having fun, and yeah. All right, guys, I appreciate it. Y'all have a great rest of your day, and may the force be with you.